the easiest thing for us to do with people is to sit and go through your channels for you, with you on the call, and just listen to some of the stuff that's going out there, and hear like an alternative point of view with our mind. Because back to the misconception, I think, yes, there is a whole big like project you could do in terms of rebrands for people. But people are really forgetting about that everyday stuff that's happening right now for them, and what that could mean for their whole brand. And also don't forget the employee side of this as well. Like if you have employees and a lot of them, you know, they're going to be seeing your content that's going out. They'll be interacting through your videos, maybe internally, or, you know, there's a vibe that you're giving out to even your employees on how your brand feels and how your brand, you know, everyone responds well to music, right? Everyone responds to music in some kind of way emotionally. And in fact, it's a very easy way to paint a picture on what kind of brand you want to build.
Well, massively. I was just checking if that was in one of our misconceptions, but it's not, because it was an interesting thing we were talking about the other day. It was discussing the power of sound in terms of reputation with future employees and attracting the right talent. And it's so overlooked, and it's something we even rarely discuss. But in terms of, you know, everyone's always thinking about it, or wants to think about it in terms of ROI for their actual spend. Whereas if you thought about having a clear, unique, consistent sonic strategy, attracting, let's say it's a 20% increase in purchase intent. Let's say it's a 20% increase in quality of applicants for jobs. And if you have that across a 10, 20, 100 person business, you're then adding, you know, 2,000, 20,000% more insight, intellect, creativity into your business just from the sounds that you're using, which again, it sounds like it's a far-fetched concept, but anyone that's involved in a brand, CMO, senior brand manager, etc., they know that it's all cumulative. And I think that's the thing, that sound is such an easy one to disregard and get rid of because people don't necessarily understand it. And so I think to the misconception, I was thinking this for future ones as well. We should start it with either each of us saying a yes or a no. So is sonic branding just for big brands? I would say no. And then the counter to that is, or not the counter, the explanation from me in terms of a succinct response would be, big brands have the luxury of being able to get straight into it, and they got the budget, etc. But as you've been alluding to earlier in this chat, if you are a smaller brand or building a brand, there are these things you can do in terms of just understanding how you can use music to speak to your ideal demographic. And then you can be using let's just use social media because it's a great example of access. You can then be using existing songs that you already have the rights to use as part of your business, Instagram, to be starting that journey.